What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Chelsea Echo podcast. It's your boys back in the room, back with the awesome foursome. Awesome foursome's a bit of a weird one, but we'll stick with it. I've said it. We're gonna run with it. Yeah. We've got ourselves Mooch. We've got ourselves Nico. We've got big boy Brandon.
BTE. Hello. Hello.
How are you all doing? Because obviously guys. Firstly, we should apologise. We weren't here last week. Easter, lots of things were happening, so we couldn't actually
like a spanking from West Brom.
No, that's not the reason we didn't do it. That's not how we roll.
It was a tactical absence.
We've lasted 30 seconds and we've mentioned the 5-2 humiliation already.
Mate, it wasn't great.
It was a capitulation. But anyway, there was Easter, and then there was some illness amongst our loved ones.
Yes.
So we weren't able to deliver the pod, and for the tens of you listening, I know you were disappointed. Sorry, Mum, I did call you to make up for it. So you did get to hear your son.
But I have some exciting news.
What's your exciting news, Brandon?
She's pregnant.
No.
I was going to say it's
not that exciting. But I'm releasing a song.
What?
Yeah, I'm releasing a song.
What's it about? What's it called?
It's called Losing My Mind.
Was it about the West Brom match?
I mean, in hindsight, it could be now.
Go on, Brandon, this is your moment. Put it on you. Let's talk.
Right, so it all happened about a year ago. I work in a restaurant. I'm not going to disclose that restaurant's name just because I don't want hate. But I work at a restaurant. The guy who works in the kitchen is a musician. He has his own studio, blah, blah, blah. Me and a mate went down there one day just as fun, wrote a few lyrics out. I wrote the song because it turns out I'm actually quite good with lyrics. I never knew that. But
well, I mean, you don't shut the fuck up, so yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Check my lyrics.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it worked out about a year ago. We recorded the song. It then kind of went quiet, and then about a month ago, he asked for me to come back and do the rest of the song. So we scrapped it and recorded the lyrics again. And yeah, he said to me yesterday or the day before that the song is just being mastered, and then it will be released or ready for release.
Are you seeing any cheddar for that?
Eddie Wensleydale.
Maybe. No, I should be. It depends on how many streams and all that sort of stuff it gets. But
is it a Chelsea song or?
No, it's.
Then why are we talking about it, bro? This is a Chelsea.
Hey! You plug the Vauxhall Comedy Club all the time. Let Brandon plug his thing.
Listen. I'm only mentioning it because we weren't here last week, so it's just a bit of what's been going on in my life. Not that anyone gives two shits.
Just messing about with you.
The tens of people that are watching, like Mooch said, I don't think they care, but. I'll be plugging the fuck out of it.
They may do, yeah.
Well, yeah, it could be a number one. It won't be a number one. It could be.
It could be a number one with the help of the 10 people listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, I think, Mooch, have you got any news just before we get into it? May as well. Let's just go around. We've missed each other for a week. We haven't spoke to each other.
Missed is a strong word.
Well, I haven't missed you. All right,
stay in your
your
booth.
face.
Not much is happening. We were planning on doing some comedy events here at the Vauxhall Comedy Club, but I'm not sure they're going to be permitted because there's some new government rules. Very, very interesting, but I think we'll keep it brief and let's talk about football.
He has, but I mean, Nico also does have some news.
Nico?
Nico's got some great news.
Oh, the good news.
It's very good news.
He's getting a haircut.
I'm rocking my Japanese samurai look for a little while more.
Samurai Jack.
Samurai Nick. I found out what gender the baby's going to be.
Ooh.
Taking guesses now?
Girl?
Boy.
Says girl, says boy. It's a girl.
Yes!
Oh, what?
Guessed it. What do I win? Can I name her?
No.
Little Muccina.
Muccino. What a name.
Very good.
Good.
We've got the name Leah.
Lovely.
That's great.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Well, I mean, I've already been told that I have to get her a Wolf shirt, so you two get her the Chelsea shirt because I'm not paying for 2 shirts because that'd be bit spenny. But yeah, I don't have any news because my life's boring. But yeah, let's just get straight into it.
Yeah,
Brandon, what have you got for us?
Right, so agenda time. So we've got a packed agenda because obviously we missed last week, and because of the inconvenience, we've missed 3 fixtures, which is a bit of a madness. So we've
So
got
3 fixtures to catch up on.
pretty much, yeah. So we've got the West Brom humiliation, which hopefully we don't touch on too much. The
think it's
Porto
important we do.
triumph. Yeah, we will, but it's just embarrassing, isn't it? The Porto triumph during the week. The first time we scored 3+ goals under Tuchel, which was yesterday. Very good performance. Havertz heaven looks to be performing quite well. And then Pulisic grabbing headlines from yesterday. We're then going on to a bit of a debate, which is going to be interesting. I know Nico and Mooch love their debates. So we've got the Werner, Abraham and Giroud debate. Then moving on to the top 4 fight. We've got Nico's favourite segment after that. Returning again, we've got the CFCDubois thread. It's
Come
more
on.
coincidences are happening, and he's added quite a bit to the thread, so I'll pull that up a bit later and we'll go through it.
Come
And then
on.
we will finish on the upcoming fixtures, which are 2 big ones, our 2 quarter-final and our semi-final. We've got Porto during the week and then City next Saturday.
Interesting.
So let's crack on with
Lovely
West
week.
Brom.
It was shit.
And let's move on to Porto.
Well, I think that look, if we had done the pod after the game, we'd be in a different mood. And the important thing was how we bounced back from that defeat.
Quite right.
It wasn't like a disastrous. I mean, it was a disaster, but it wasn't disastrous. We lost Thiago Silva got sent off, and the team essentially capitulated. It wasn't any one player's fault.
No.
It was the team just lacking experience and a backbone, I suppose.
But that surprises me, considering how well we've done without Thiago Silva when he's been injured. We've played, 5-6 games without him, and the back 3 have been solid. I know we were a man down, so obviously that put us down. But
I don't think there's anything to read into this, to be honest. I don't think it's anything to do with
It
Thiago
was a
Silva.
freak result.
It was a complete freak result. It's games like that why they call football the beautiful game, because weird shit happens. It was, Mooch just said, it wasn't any one player's fault. I don't think you can pin it down to Thiago Silva got sent off, because God knows we could have beaten that West Brom team with 10 men on any other day.
I think
Weird shit happens.
Straight after the sending off, we had a couple of chances.
Yeah.
And if we'd put one of those chances
Different
away,
game.
the confidence and the momentum of the game goes completely. And it's just one of these things that it's a sliding door moment. That goes in, and the team's confidence is there.
Yeah.
And from a team that's conceded one goal from an opposition player to leaking 5, it was
Crazy.
But
I do think that some tactically Thomas Tuchel did get it wrong in that game as well. For example, like he stuck with a 3, and I think it's kind of stuff like that where realistically keeping a 3 against West Brom when you were down to 10, I don't think was the best idea. I think that's where realistically we maybe should have switched to a 4, gone a bit more aggressive, tried to get, like you're saying, put these chances away and put the game to bed, and then you have the options on the bench too, if we just need to see it out, whacking it into a 5. But I think
He owned that though. He did say in his post-match conference, he was very humble about the whole thing. You know, he did put his hands up and outright say, "Yeah, I got that a bit wrong today." And I think, if anything, reading a little bit between the lines there, as a first loss, but a proper big loss for him in the English League, it was probably a really good lesson for him to have, which didn't do too much damage to us as a byproduct.
Yeah.
Because he sort of realised, you can pick up your L's in the German league for sure, but you wouldn't expect a team like Chelsea to lose to West Brom. Even the commentators were saying this is freak. So it was a great lesson for Tuchel to have.
I think it was our first loss to West Brom at home in like 26 years.
Yeah.
So, look, I think
it's an irrelevant stat.
Exactly.
Because as Mitch said, we bounced back from it. But as a lesson for him to be like, you know what? When you are in the English league, there is no taking your foot off the gas. There just isn't. Any team can damage you on the day. And if you give them an iota of space, they'll punish you.
Exactly. And I think, it's just it's a lesson he's learned. I mean, every manager that comes from abroad, he even said, you come to England for results like this. He was saying that in his Porto pre-press conference. Yeah. Obviously, he touched on because we haven't put it in the agenda, but we should maybe talk about it a little bit. I think obviously there was the reaction on the Sunday afterwards, Rudiger and Kepa. Yeah. I think I don't want to read too much into it because we weren't there. We can't really comment on it. I don't think it's particularly fair. But obviously, you look at the situation. there was obviously stuff put on Instagram by Rudiger saying, "Oh, me Hermano, my brother," all this sort of stuff about Kepa. But I mean, it's social media. I take everything with a pinch of salt when it comes to that. But I look at it, and Kepa, I've seemed to have noticed, has been involved in a few instances over the past few.
Does seem like someone who will put the cat amongst the pigeons. I mean, he's not exactly endeared himself to the fans.
No.
Partially, one because of
the walk off.
The lack of walking off.
The lack of
that substitute fiasco under Sarri.
Yeah.
And then obviously his form's dipped, which is not going to endear him to anyone. He's got a big price tag above his head, which is
also. Do you remember his response to when Mendy was signed? Do you remember the camera panned to him for Mendy's first game, and they panned up to Kepa up in the stand?
Sat with arms like that, wasn't he?
No, he was sort of saying, "Well, I would have done this and that."
You don't know exactly what he's saying.
It looked like it.
Yeah, but I mean, look, but these are all things. I'd be more upset if he was content sitting there and not be keen to fight for his place.
I think that there's. I want to take again pinch of salt.
Who do you reckon would bang who out? Rudiger, I'm backing every.
God, yeah,
mate. Just after the Atletico Madrid game where he was like, "Yeah, come on, Andy, you're doing that to Atletico Madrid," and he's turning around saying, "Come, let's go." I think the whole
Rudiger's
situation.
not a man you fuck with.
No.
But then Zuma comes across and they both shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with that.
Really?
I think Rudiger would destroy Zuma.
Zuma would just break his leg accidentally.
Rudiger looks like a machine. I think you wouldn't want to pick a fight with him.
The thing with Rudiger is I think he's found some good form now under Thomas Tuchel as well. And I think that obviously there was when Lampard was there at the back end, and obviously the last season as well, Rudiger wasn't the same player simply because of that long-term injury he had at the back end of Sarri's season. But he seems to have found his feet again now. He's looking pretty sharp. But I think obviously there was all the talk of him leaving. Ironically, the story was reported by Matt Law, who obviously was the person who was reporting that there was discontent between Lampard and Rudiger, and Chelsea obviously, had some words to say about that. So Matt Law in this situation, I think again you take it all with a pinch of salt, but next game comes around, Porto. And everything seems dandy again, doesn't it?
Before we get into that, because you've just said Matt Law, it's forcing me to bring a tangent up, but it's from a recurring segment.
Go for it.
Erling Bred Haaland segment. So both Matt Law and Simon Johnson have reported that Mino Raiola has categorically said, "I refuse to ever do business with Pep Guardiola again."
Yeah.
Simon Johnson, I don't think he's had a good track record recently.
Simon Johnson, I don't believe. Matt Law, I tend to be like, okay, I'm going to listen to you.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I don't believe a word Mino Raiola says. That's the thing.
Can you not speak about my doppelganger says everything?
I'll say this: I don't care who you are. Every person has their price for anything.
What happened to the image rights with Zlatan? Sorry.
That's been quiet. I have a funny feeling. We'll find out when the next FIFA's released, isn't it? It won't be Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It'll be Zlatan Simidinovic.
It'll be Zoltan Sandanovic or something.
Just quickly as well, before we move on to Porto, I'd like to say that, the West Brom game was awful on our point of view, but we can't take any credit away from West Brom at the same time.
No, exactly.
They played very well, and some of their goals were very, very good. They worked the ball around us very well. I don't like Callum Robson. I don't ever want to see him ever again in my life.
I've heard Porto sign him on a short-term loan.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But they played well. So
I think
they smelled blood and they went for the jugular. Fair play to them.
It wasn't a Sam Allardyce team. It was a Samuele Allardyce team.
Samuela.
But like you said,
very good.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
It was a bad performance in the end, but then we made up for it a mere 4 days later. If we'd like to talk about Porto,
Mason Mount is the best thing I've ever seen.
Don't even. I can't explain the amount of love I have for this guy. Mm-hmm. Honestly, he proves people wrong week in, week out. He's the hardest working person on that team, bar none.
He's the first.
He's the first one on the sheet. He's the first name on the sheet, like Nico said. He's the first person to press attackingly, but he also gets back and does the defensive job. As I've said multiple times on record, I've said this a few weeks ago as well. And he's now starting to add more goals and assists to his game since Tuchel's come in, which we thought he was going to do under Lampard, let's be honest, because Lampard was the box-to-box goal-scoring midfielder, always involved with goals. He's done it under Tuchel more than he did under Lampard, but he's really, really starting to flourish, and it's showing because there's a lot of rival fans and players and managers all recognising how much of a talent he really is now, as we've known since he's broken into the first team 2 years ago. Yeah, I love him.
Do we play Chelsea Echo Bingo? Sorry, just every week do we say, Brandon says, you have no idea how much love I have this man on Mason Mount.
That's...
If someone's got that on a bingo card, then, you know.
Yeah, if you're playing a drinking game or something, you'd be drunk in the first 30 minutes.
Go on, Nico. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's cool. I think it's just touching on something Brandon said there. The fact that he's still having to prove people wrong is the part I find crazy. It's like, what the fuck are people not seeing?
People can't switch their agendas. If they've got an agenda, they'll kind of just... They feel like they're losing if they change their mind.
But this is terrible. This comes down to a much, you know, and we're not gonna get into a big social argument here. But it's like, people, like, facts matter more than opinion. 2 + 2 does not equal potato, even if you want it to be. It will always equal 4. Mason Mount is a fucking good footballer, even if you don't like Chelsea and you don't want him to be because he doesn't suit your previous narrative. It does get to a stage where you have to just recognise.
Well, look, we've all had our opinions on Rudiger, especially, you know, towards the end of last season. But he's playing amazingly well.
Yep.
Yeah. He's playing well. He's
You reevaluate.
Yeah.
You look at facts, and it's like, well, I had that opinion then, and it was based on X.
Yeah.
He's now playing well. Therefore, I will reevaluate, in my opinion. Some people don't want to reevaluate.
It's all about the
amazing.
It's all about hindsight, really, isn't it? You look back and you think, okay, I thought this, but you've got to be the bigger person to admit you were wrong. And I think we all can say that about 80% of the Chelsea team at the moment. Last season, 80% of them weren't playing as well as they are now. You've got the consistent ones, you know. You've got your Azpilicuetas and your Mounts, like I'm saying, but you've got players like Christensen, Rudiger, Jorginho, who were all...
Jorginho's played. Yeah, I mean,
who were all coming into better...
He's had a bad game, and he's had a great game.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Everyone's coming into their own element under Tuchel because he's playing different type of football, a different type of football that Lampard was playing. He's playing a more attacking type of football. He's playing a more solid...
a more German football.
Yeah, he's playing a more solid back three, back five. But it's all suiting the players that we have, and he's done a very good job of that. And I think, like Mooch was saying, like Nico was saying, we all have to eat humble pie sometimes and be like, okay, we got this one wrong, but... If you hold your hands up, you're the bigger person, aren't you?
Literally.
That's the beauty of Thomas Tuchel. What he's done at Chelsea. I mean, you look at what he did at PSG and you look at what he did at Dortmund and Mainz as well. He's had a different system at every single club. Tuchel's come in and gone, right, let's look at the players that I have and let's reevaluate, and this is how we're going to play. No doubt, I think, touch wood, if he's here for the next 2 years, 3 years, because he's a very good fit for us, I feel.
I think so, yeah.
You know, no doubt he will change the system. I think he will change to a 4 eventually. But right now, he's looked at what he's gone and gone. He's gone, right, defensively, can't play a 4 with this team because they concede all the time. So we're going to switch it to a 5. We're going to be a bit more resilient in how we play. This is how it works. He's looked. What we have right now in this squad is we have a lot of Conte remnants. It's kind of an amalgamation of Conte and Sarri in terms of the players which make up our core. So I think he's looked at it and gone, right, well, defensively, we'll play like this. Going forward, we'll use elements of X, Y, and Z from this. And no doubt that eventually we will switch to his style of football. I think that,
What do you think his style of football is?
I don't know. I think
because it's, as you said, it's been different at every club.
It seems to be very high tempo, very high press. This is from when I spoke to the 50+1 podcast, which is actually friends of mine and Brandon's from uni. They've been doing really well, so guys, go follow them if you want to hear Bundesliga football stuff. He was saying that Lewis, he looked at it, he went, well, he likes to play high tempo, high press, but he does like to have a lot of the ball and play attractive football as well. Yeah. So it's almost he is a Kloppite in terms of his basic identity, but then he's taken it himself and adjusted it to see what suits him. So I think long term we can be having this conversation 6 months, 9 months, 10 months down the line, but we need to. I think we'll have that conversation once he actually brings in his own players. I'd like to see who he wants to sign.
Well, this is an interesting point I'd like to raise as well, because you've got your world managers like your Ancelottis, your Guardiolas, maybe to a lesser degree now your Mourinhos, but I'd still put his name in there. Who there are players who want to play for that manager.
Yeah.
Is Tuchel that sort of name yet?
No. I don't think
this
he is.
Is what scares me about the future. This is the only negative I can attribute to him at the moment.
I think when we win the Champions League later this year,
fuck me.
I think that will change. I think honestly, when we spanked 7 past City in the final, it's gonna. People will probably
City
with
are
8
making
men.
the final.
We'll do that with 8 men as well.
Do you not think City are? Oh no, right, okay.
Bayern
wait,
are going to wreck City.
Wait.
Bayern are 3-2 down.
yeah.
But
Bayern are going to wreck City.
Okay,
So you're confident that Bayern are going to get into the semis?
It's Bayern or PSG. One of those two teams is making the semis.
To be fair,
I don't think Bayern will.
we're
Well, yeah,
skipping,
because they're in the quarters.
I know.
we're skipping.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean, though. It's because they're losing 3-2 in the first leg.
Stay on target, boys. Stay on
Yeah,
target.
sorry,
Stay on
sorry.
target.
Bayern or PSG, one of those two teams, sorry, I'll build on this now, is in the final. Okay?
Yeah.
City are not beating Bayern or
You
PSG.
don't think?
No.
I mean, this
Okay.
is
Well, let's
something for
we can put
later
some
in the
money on
agenda.
that. Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
let's
we'll speak
We've
about
actually
I
got
am
something for
not
that.
going to believe that they are winning the quadruple. No.
But okay, Porto. We've spoken about how good Mason Mount is and how much Brandon loves him. I think we
Can I talk about how much I hate Porto's attacker? Mangero, whatever he's called.
Oh,
Mate,
what, the
yeah,
diver?
he's a beast.
Ah! I hate him.
I like him.
He's like that idiot right back from yesterday. You'd want him in your team, but you
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
play against him.
For
Diego
those
Costa type player.
for those with context, obviously Nico, as he's wearing the Imperial Wolf jumper, we played against I wouldn't say it's a derby, but I'd say it's our biggest rivals in the league purely because we played them. They've got a right back who looks like an MC Devo. And he's
got a mouth.
He's
He
got a-
fucking writes
Mate,
checks that his ass can't cash.
But he's a fucking good player. He's this big lanky guy who you wouldn't see as a right back, but he's brilliant.
He's
very good.
And
But
God, he's mouthy. He's
Yeah.
the sort of guy, every opportunity gets an elbow and little stomp on you here
Is
and
it-
there.
is
You would
he-
hate to play against
Is he
him,
like
but you'd
that
want
off
him
the
in your
pitch?
team.
Is he all right off the pitch? or
He's
is he-
fine off the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
he wasn't with me. He doesn't like me. But I don't think any of them
Yeah,
like
he
me.
was
to be
cool with
honest.
me. He came
Yeah,
up,
but
gave me a big
that's a
hug.
mutual
after.
feeling between a lot of people. To be fair.
No, it's a lot of people don't like you. Like, yeah, join the queue, mate. It's a long one.
Back to Porto. So,
Porto, yes.
how confident are we on about Tuesday?
I'm not saying anything. This is going on the internet.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, but it'll probably be after Tuesday now.
No. It's going out Monday. Monday. It's going to be out.
Well, I think, look, 2-0 up.
Yes.
Tuchel has had some previous disasters in the Champions League,
Such as
such as PSG Barca.
he wasn't the manager then.
Wasn't he? Oh, was he not?
No.
Unai Emery was the manager then.
Oh, well, fine. We're going to win it.
There we go. Thank
I'm
you for
sceptical. I'm sceptical.
Was that
I
Unai
don't know.
Emery?
It was Laurent Blanc, wasn't it?
watching. No, it was
No.
Unai Emery.
It was Emery. It was Emery.
Good evening. Hello.
Good
yes.
evening.
Mr. Good evening, even though it's 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, I'm sceptical about Tuesday. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Seriously?
Yeah, no, I want to believe. I do. I don't
I'm
know.
not asking
There's
for-
just something. There's
Brand-
just something.
Brandon has spent too much time around me over the past 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's what
I've
it
just
is.
bled into
It's
him.
I think that's
toxic.
what it
Don't
is.
listen.
I know. I try.
By proxy, I'm also not advocating for mooch levels of optimism here about winning the fucking tournament, but I do think we're getting past
We're going to
Porto
do it
now.
3 in a row. We're going to be like fucking Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Zuzu.
Dynasty.
What do you mean 3? Fucking 4, Mooch. For fuck's sake.
Did
Come
it
on, mate.
in a row?
They did 4 in a row.
No,
Did they
no,
have 4 in a row?
I meant Wigan. If they did 4
Oh,
in a row,
sorry.
fine, we'll do 5.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Show 'em how it's done. Look, for me,
It's scary, isn't it?
Did Real Madrid win 4 in a row?
In
No.
5 years, they won 4.
yes,
Okay.
it
Yeah,
was
it was
4
three in a row.
Yeah.
3 in a row, and then one off and one on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm not going to use optimistic Mooch. I'm not going to be too negative. I think the performance that we had against them in the first leg was extremely confident, extremely professional. So if we can carry on with that form and do it again, then I'm
It
fine.
was German. It was just efficient. It's like, we
yeah.
will score 2 goals and then we will close the doors. No goals for you and the game is done.
It's not done, but we're playing with confidence.
Yeah.
We shipped a goal yesterday, but
It was a really poor goal as well,
Yeah.
I thought. I didn't think it was great.
I think
It was badly defended.
Yeah.
That's what really fucked me off.
think
I
it's
think
just-
Chilwell could have done a lot more on the back post.
I think it's just because I've seen what we saw as well, Nico, yesterday. Maybe that's why I thought, But, But
I just think we've got players that are playing well, and we'll move on to those players later on in the agenda. But just briefly, like Havertz, Pulisic, they're coming into a little bit of form. I don't want to speak too soon and say because they've had one good game, they're going to be world beaters now. But they're showing what they can do when they get on a good run of form or start to get on a good run of form.
Can we touch on Pulisic specifically there?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's coming up a bit later on, but go on.
I think he is a world beater. Like, the only problem Pulisic has is that he's injury prone.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's what
do you
I mean.
remember
like,
how good he was, like in the build-up to that FA Cup final and including in that FA Cup final until the injury? He was borderline unplayable.
Yeah. But that's
Like,
what I mean. Like, I think we're playing.
amazing.
We've got players that are playing very well, or are about to go on a decent run of form. They're starting to look like they can play really well. Like the two we've just mentioned.
Yep.
But the thing that concerns me is the lack of concentration sometimes we do have. And it depends who starts in our midfield too, because Jorginho didn't have the best of games last Saturday against West Brom. Kovacic has been quite, decent. He's consistent. He's been consistent.
Kovacic has to be in there.
Yeah, I think it's whoever partners Kovacic.
Yeah, it's Kante and Kovacic for me all day long.
Yeah.
But then it depends again who starts as your left wing back. Is he going to play Alonso for the height because of the balls into the box? Because Porto are going to go for it. They need 2 away goals at least. So they're going to go for it. They're going to put balls into the box. They're going to try and dribble past players. That's the only concern for me is that...
Do you think we're going to play with Werner and sort of try and hit him on the break?
Again, this is another thing. We've got 3 players at the front that are playing really well. Pulisic, Mount and Havertz, like I just said, like yesterday. But we've also got players like Ziyech who can play well, who can have moments of brilliance. We've got Werner who can play well on the left, who can play up
He'll
front.
stretch a team.
He'll
He'll make you think twice.
Exactly.
About
And he'll contribute with a couple of assists if he doesn't score. So he does contribute. You've got Giroud, who's just out-and-out target man, who can hold the ball up, bring other players into play. And then you've got Abraham, who's your shithouse goal scorer, who can score a couple of tap-ins and is in the right place at the right time. So we've got options, and that's what concerns me. Does he go with the right options on Tuesday? Obviously, I wouldn't like to be in his shoes because they're all probably playing really well in training. They're all coming off a bit of a high, winning 2 games in a row, a Champions League and a good win against Palace yesterday.
But how is that not a good thing?
It's a good thing. I'm not saying it's awful. I'm not saying it's awful. It just concerns me the fact that we might be getting a bit too ahead of ourselves. Not us per se, but fans in general.
I think for me personally, I would look at not just the Porto game, I'd look at City as well. And I'm not going to lie, that City game I'm looking at and going, that is our toughest test.
Oh, yes.
That is when I look at that and go, I want to win that. Porto, like we said, we look pretty solid. I think if we fielded, not a second string team per se, but a heavily rotated side, I think he'll probably start Alonso because Chilwell's played 2 games on the bounce. He'll probably look at the centre-half options a bit more. He probably will put in a different striker because Havertz, again, played a lot of minutes recently. I think that you want to probably look at what the best team is, and if this is the thing we've said that in that Palace game, that's our best front 3 right now. We then look back at the Atletico Madrid game in that second leg where we hit them on the counter. That's our best team there. But if you look at it, it's actually there's a lot of differences.
But I think Tuchel is almost like the Tinkerman. Do you know what I mean? He's rotating players, and he's getting,
he's doing it well.
Yeah, he's doing what top coaches do, changing your team and your tactics according to your opposition.
And regarding the second leg of the Porto game, to address your point, Brandon, this is just a personal opinion. I don't know if Tuchel's going to echo this or not, obviously, but I don't think there is any reason to sit deep and hit on counter-attack in that game by inviting pressure, because Porto are going to be up for it. There is no reason to make that game difficult for ourselves. If we do what we did in the first game, which was control the possession, control the tempo of the game, just play retained football, and do not give them the chance to, actually attack us, which we would do if we were saying, okay, we're going to sit deep and hit you on the counter. So if you all agree on that, for me, the starter for the Porto game has to be Giroud.
I agree. I'd start Giroud. I think Giroud
hold up the ball,
minutes.
Keep possession. He will get you goals. Like, he's proven that now.
I think
not for France.
I think he'll probably come on as an impact sub if we need it.
Yeah, I reckon he'll see out the game.
I'd put Werner on as the impact sub.
Agree.
When they're tired, make him run at them.
I think Werner will start.
So I think he will. It's not what I would do.
I reckon he's going to throw a massive curveball and start Abraham. I really do.
We've got a whole.
He's
To throw everyone off. Yeah. To throw everyone off, including Porto. They're not going to expect Abraham to start. They're going to expect Havertz to start as a false 9, or Werner to start with pace, or Giroud to start as a target man and hold the ball up.
Start them all.
So then, if by that logic, then if you're starting Tammy, given that he's your fox in the box, by that logic, you have to play Hakim Ziyech then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's what I want him to do, but I think
No. But I'm saying if he is going to
do.
play Tammy, then I'm saying by proxy he should play Hakim.
Having said all this, boys, we actually do need to talk about that a little bit later because we actually still have to go through the
That's
Crystal
very
Palace
true.
game and lots of other stuff, so we can touch on it and go into.
We have
more
got that
depth
debate
later.
coming up. So.
So I mean, Brandon, let's just to reinforce with everyone and everyone listening. What else have we got left in the show today?
So we are only on point 2.
No, we're not. We're on point. Oh yeah.
We're moving on to point 3 of like 9. Right, so we'll move on to the next one, which is now the third game. It's been half an hour.
Oh, good.
So yeah, let's move on to the third point, which was yesterday's game. First time we scored 3+ under Tuchel.
Nice.
Discuss.
Me gusta.
Sorry.
Me gusta.
Me gusta. No, it was a great performance. I'm excited to see Havertz really sort of coming into his own. As we were talking about this before we hit record, but the first 10-15 minutes,
He was unbelievable, wasn't he?
He was unplayable.
Yeah. Unbelievable. It's that flick over the head
Yes,
after he scored that first goal.
It wasn't the goal that impressed me. It was that flick and volley that made me go,
volley,
whoa.
and it
Gazaresque.
Yeah.
Literally. It was so good. It was a joy to watch. Let's be honest. Like the whole game yesterday, it was a joy to watch, really. Like the first half more than the second half, let's be honest. But that first half, we looked like we played some of the best football I've seen in quite a few years.
As an individual, there were things Havertz did yesterday that really made me have... I'm not putting him on the same pedestal as this player, but it gave me flashbacks of joy on this level. It kind of reminded me of Eden Hazard. It was like, oh, you're doing some fancy shit here. I haven't seen this at the bridge in a while.
I know.
Me gusta, right?
Yeah, no, I
like this.
He was superb. I think we touched on it as well. I mean, we didn't score from it, but I was watching it back this morning. There was a really interesting passage of play. I think it was like 20+ passes or something ridiculous like that, where we just took 1 or 2 touches and it was just tipping it round the entire Palace team. And again, as good as we were, Palace were poor yesterday because Roy Hodgson is a terrorist.
Palace are poor.
No, Palace aren't poor. Palace are a good side when they want to be.
No, they're not.
They really are.
They really aren't because of the man you just mentioned.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree with Nico.
As long as that little caveat is there, I can't say they're a good side. Do they have good players? Yes, of course. Eze, brilliant. They've got Benteke on his day. Very, very good. They've got great players. They are not a good team.
I agree. I've worked at Palace for a number of years. I've watched it firsthand. I've seen them play. And Roy Hodgson is... And I've spoken to a lot of their fans as well. I've got a lot of friends because I'm from near Crystal Palace. I've got a lot of friends that are Palace fans. And they appreciate what Roy has done. Kept them up for a number of years.
Yeah.
But they know it's time that they need a change.
The owl needs to move.
The owl needs to go. The owl needs to vacate the nest.
But having said that, I feel that Crystal Palace, if they do that, because again, we were talking about this pre-pod, they'll go for an Eddie Howe. Frank Lampard was touted to go there as well. They'll go for
Eddie Howe would be fucking good.
No,
there.
That's what I said.
But this is the problem. I feel that if Palace do that, they're going to be in a similar boat to what Stoke were, whereas they've gone from Tony Pulis, very sturdy, very capable football,
But the players that they've got, with Zaha,
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to say is I think they'll try and go, right, we've now stabilised ourselves in the Premier League, we're now going to push on. And the players they have, they're all very good players. They're all very skillful. That's the reason they're called Source FC as a joke or whatever. But I think if you look at Palace as a club, I don't know if the infrastructure's just there yet. I feel they need like a middleman, like maybe a year or two of just somebody else.
Who?
That's the thing. I don't know who.
But this is where I disagree there because you need to look at. They've got very good players. Okay, some of them are aging, some of them are
will
are
they be
coming
there in
out
a
for
few
squad.
years if you've got a middleman?
There's that, but at the same time, you need to utilize those players you've got now. If you utilize those players you've got now with someone like Eddie Howe, who can get the best out of them for the last couple of years at the top level, they've also got an under-18 side who are unbelievable.
Yeah.
They are top of the Southern Division in the under-18s league.
They're brilliant.
They are unbelievable.
They battered us, didn't they?
Yeah, they battered us
6-0
like
or something like
6-2 or something like that. They are very, very good players. And Palace have now got a Grade 1 academy as well. So they've got a lot of good players coming through. They produce a lot of good players. They need someone who is going to integrate those young players because, let's be honest, they're not a massive financial team. They haven't got the wealth that they once maybe had. They spent on Benteke and Sacco.
Which is why they're not keeping those young players, mate.
I understand.
They're a feeder
I
club.
definitely get that. But at the same time, if you use the skill and the assets that those players bring, even for a year or two, that springs them up 2 or 3 positions in the league, in my opinion. And if they do that, they need someone who is going to complement those players, and someone like an Eddie Howe, maybe a Brendan Rodgers, someone like that who will integrate that youth, but also get the best out of the more experienced players at the same time.
I think Brendan Rodgers is a great shot, but that's never happened.
No, it's never happened.
I think realistically, Eddie Howe looks pretty much set to become the new manager of Celtic. So that's rules him out.
Again, great. I think that's a really, really good move on Celtic's part.
I'm just reading up. I'm on the sack race, just looking at potential managerial appointments. None of them.
David Moyes isn't going anywhere, is he?
No, but none of them are inspiring. Ow! Ooh.
Chris Wilder.
Ooh, Chris Wilder's good one. What about this one? Because I think if Fulham do go down, he might be looked at. Scott Parker. I think Scott Parker would be a very good fit because he's got the element of stability. I feel. But
don't think he's proven enough yet.
Thank you. We're talking about a manager that can take them up a level. Scott Parker would actually, I think, undo the groundwork that Roy Hodgson's done. Roy Hodgson has brought stability. He hasn't brought anything that makes them happy, but he's brought stability. Parker's just going to undo all that.
Samuel Aladici.
Samuel Aladici.
He was there a few years ago, and then he retired, and now they hate him because he retired and then come back out of retirement.
I mean, Alan Pardew's been touted.
Again, they hate him too.
Dougie Freedman, Michael Carrick, Lee Johnson from Sunderland, Sean Dyche.
Dougie Freedman was a good one when he was at Palace.
Sean Dyche is a good shout.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sean Dyche won't leave Burnley.
If they go down, you never know.
They're mathematically safe now. They're fine.
Hang on, I said to you before the pod that they're doing really well, didn't I? Yeah, that was a really stupid comment from me. They're not going down.
And they're mathematically safe. They can't go down, I don't think.
But I'm just saying, Sean Dyche, if you were to pick someone, that would be a very good.
It'd be a good one. Yeah.
Very good
it'd be interesting to see. I mean, actually, let's know who you comment in the comments down below who you think would be a good fit for Palace.
Can we talk about Chelsea again?
Yeah,
I was going to say we're moving on to like a Palace pod.
I know. Well, that's if you want Palace, go to pod offside. But yeah, I think
3 goals under Tuchel for the first time. Pulisic looked like the player he was towards the end of last season. I'm excited for our attack to sort of really start to flourish. Once they click, we could be title contenders next year.
Yeah, the depth we've got is very good in all those positions. Let's be honest.
We need a defensive midfielder. I just want one defensive midfielder.
Again.
I want
The
Declan
day
Rice.
you can tell me who a better defensive midfielder in the world than N'Golo Kante is, I'll entertain this argument.
But I'm saying N'Golo Kante as part of a 3-4-3 is good. As a sole defensive midfielder on his own, I don't
France disagrees with you.
No, but he's not on his own with France, is he?
Yes, he really is.
Well, who's in the field with him? Is Pogba and who?
Pogba does not play defensive midfield.
No.
for France.
Who's the other one? Pogba, isn't it Matuidi? Or it was Matuidi. Who was
Matuidi
it?
plays, but Matuidi's a centre midfielder. Matuidi will take up the Mateo Kovacic role for France.
Yeah, so he's an 8. So he comes back.
But he's a
18.
sole defensive midfielder. That's what I'm saying.
No, but he's not, because he get aids from Matuidi, who becomes that water
Get
boy.
aids from Mateo Kovacic, who can be the water boy.
Did you say just get AIDS?
Yeah, that's what I thought he said.
Shouldn't have said
We
that.
need to start rolling through these topics, guys.
So we've sort of touched on Havertz and Pulisic. I also want to mention Hudson-Odoi. What's your opinions on him at the moment? He's not really getting many minutes. He played well yesterday. He's been in and out a little bit recently. I start to fear that he might go on loan or be sold in the next couple of
I don't think so.
transfer windows if he doesn't get the minutes. You need to remember that this is the guy that was fueling the Bayern Munich transfers a couple of years ago. He was loving that, and it was only because of who was it under? Was it Sarri at the time where he stayed and he played really well? And now he's not really getting many minutes because we've got a lot of attacking options. Yeah. He's playing more of a wing back.
He's an absolute baller, but I wouldn't pick him ahead of Pulisic and Ziyech.
Well, he's not. He plays as a wing back, doesn't he? I think that's the thing. Tuchel utilises him, and he did it at Dortmund as well.
He's turning him to the new Victor Moses.
No, not the new Victor Moses. I think with Hudson-Odoi and the way we're playing,
Put
he
a bit
gets
more
higher.
respect on his name than Victor Moses.
He gets.
Don't get me wrong, we love Victor Moses,
Victor did great under Conte, to be fair.
yes, but they're different leagues.
Yeah, but Hudson-Odoi is not really used as a wing back. He gets further up the pitch.
Yeah, it's just like Marcus Alonso is kind of like it's basically a winger.
Yeah, because Marcus Alonso is a winger. Yeah. I want anyone. I still stand by this. I don't think he's good defensively at all.
I don't think he's a good enough winger to be called a winger, though. He's kind of in limbo. I rate him, but I don't think he's good enough to be an out-and-out winger.
Yeah, I rate him as a wing back. I don't rate him as anything.
Yeah, a wing back. Yes.
I think. Look, it depends. I think if Callum can sneak into the England squad, I think that will be.
I don't think
he's in the under-21s at the moment, isn't he?
He's not getting into the Euro team.
That's what I think the concern is going to be. If he's pigeonholed as a right wing back, and he's not getting games as a winger or as a 10, he's not going to be.
Yeah, I think Callum.
Is he ever getting into that England team? Actually,
Sancho,
Sterling, Jude Bellingham, who's been brilliant.
Bellingham's not a winger. Bellingham's a centre midfielder. He's an 8, so
he can play out wide.
He can do, but I don't think.
But you've also got to look at,
and for England he would, because he's not getting into that midfield.
Well, right now he's not, but in 3-4 years, Sterling's 28 now, 27. I think, or something like that. So he's getting on a bit, I think.
But you also need to look at if Hudson-Odoi is playing right wing back for Chelsea and Southgate or whoever may be the England manager in the future thinks that he's an asset at right wing back or could be an asset more of a right back. You've still got your Trents, your Wan-Bissakas, your Reece Jameses to overcome. Before he gets into that England team. He's not going to make it as a winger in England team, let's be honest, because at the moment you've got Sancho, Sterling, you've got Grealish who can play out wide, you've got Mount who can play out wide, you've got a lot of better options who are playing more regularly and are on form.
Plays out wide.
Rashford, exactly. So you've got a lot of options that can play out wide and that are probably on better form. That's the thing. I don't think he's going to get into the main England squad for a while if he does. And the only way he's going to is if he gets a run and form under Tuchel and plays 5-6 consistent games and plays as a forward player.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. This is what I was saying for the past few weeks. Is we have so many options that there is going to be casualties in terms of who's playing where. I think I was mentioned Hakim Ziyech last week, but now we're talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Look, he's going to want to play further forward.
But I said this on the very first podcast we ever did. I said Hudson-Odoi would be the one who's going to be collateral damage in this.
I think it's a shame because Ruben
nothing's set. You don't know how happy the player is, how unhappy the player is. I mean, he came back from an injury. He's playing well when he's playing, and as we said, look, we don't know what Tuchel's formation's going to be next year. We don't know. We were saying the same thing about Pulisic. Yeah. Is he going to go a couple of weeks ago? We're saying the same thing about Ziyech.
Yeah,
I was against all of that. I'd just like to be on record and say I hated that talk.
We are so typical football fans, aren't we?
Yeah, we are very Chelsea.
We're so typical.
We're Chelsea Twitter at the moment, very reactionary.
You take that back. Take that back.
Speaking of Twitter, there's a tangent for you.
Oh, I like that. Is that how? Have we just skipped a load?
We can come back though,
but we can come back.
I've given you a tangent.
Oh, hold on! This is my favourite.
So yeah, let's take a little bit of a break from talking at the moment, and I'm going to take you guys through CFCDubois.
Brandon, put yourself in the corner of the screen again. Put yourself in the corner of the screen.
I don't think you can on this. I've not got the thing on there.
I will. No, yeah, that's fine. You can just hear my voice. That's fine.
Okay, I'm just going to.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the CFCDubois thread again online.
Yeah.
Nico, I sent in the group chat the other night after Chilwell's goal against Porto. Actual Chelsea were kind of pushing up against his conspiracy, weren't they? They were feeding it.
But they also used designed by Aaron's amazing artwork as well. So a big shout out to Aaron, who's absolutely brilliant and has actually offered to do some stuff for the Chelsea Echo as well. So
lovely.
Big shout out to him.
Right, so
the reaches.
Where did we get to? We got to here.
It's not. It's so annoying.
No, that's why it's brilliant, because you know how much I like annoying people, and I like annoying you the most.
Okay, so we got up to the fact that Chelsea drew a Portuguese team in 2012, and they have this year. So Bayern Munich faced the French opponent in the quarterfinals, Marseille, in 2012, and they've also faced PSG this year.
Was it also 3-2?
Yes.
What?
I don't know.
No.
In 20. Oh, my headphones have gone off.
Don't worry, we can hear you.
That's okay. Lovely. In 2012, Chelsea had a 29-year-old Petr Cech signed from Rennes, and we also signed a 29-year-old Mendy from Rennes.
Is he that old? Holy shit.
I didn't realise that.
I thought Mendy was a bubby. Didn't realise he was an oldie.
Mario Götze, a Dortmund player, won the Golden Boy Award for 11-12. And who won it this year? Or last year? Erling Haaland.
Was it Haaland won it?
Yeah. Another Dortmund player.
Oh, God.
Chelsea are into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. And we won the FA Cup that season.
Well, we haven't won the FA Cup yet, so that's a dead stat. Anyway, carry on.
In October in the 2012 season, Manchester United lost the Premier League game 6-1 and had a man sent off. In October this year, they lost a game 6-1 and had a man sent off. Big coincidence, to be fair. Bit of a mad one. Last time we played Guardiola in a semi-final, we won the double. The double was the Champions League and the FA Cup. And we've been drawn against City again this year.
In a different tournament.
This one is a bit mad. So, the last time Giroud was given at least 80 pace on a FIFA card was in 2012.
Stop it.
It's happened again this year.
Kill me. By the way, FIFA Ultimate Team should be banned. I'm just saying that now. Carry on.
Chelsea captain John Terry is 31 in 2012. Chelsea captain Azpilicueta is 31 this year.
So are many people.
Chelsea's most important centre-back, John Terry, was injured at the round of 16 in 2012, and Thiago Silva was injured.
Oh my God! Not our most important centre-back. Reach next.
In the UCL in 2012, Drogba scored 6 goals, 2 headers, 3 with his left and 1 with his right.
Giroud.
Giroud, you got it.
Oh, this is brilliant.
After 14 games...
Are we going to say that they've also got a French name, even though one of them's from Marseille and one of them's from the fucking Ivory Coast? But they're both French names.
After 14 games, Di Matteo's Chelsea UCL winning manager had a 71.4% win rate. After 14 games, Tuchel had the same percentage of win rate.
What position were Chelsea when Di Matteo took over?
Oh, that's a very good point. Shall I have a look?
10th, weren't we?
No, we weren't 10.
We can't. That would be interesting.
Okay, hang on.
That would actually be interesting.
Chelsea 2011.
Well, he's looking. Carry on with this.
The last time Chelsea conceded 5 at Stamford Bridge, 2011-2012.
Was it against West Brom?
No. Oh, but we also lost to West Brom in 2011-2012.
We lost was to Arsenal.
Arsenal 5-3.
We don't speak about that.
Yeah. The last time Newcastle drew at home to Spurs, 11-12, the score 2-2, and the equaliser in the 85th minute. And they drew with an equaliser in the exact same minute against Spurs this season.
How is that relevant to us?
This is the first time a Chelsea manager has won 3 consecutive Champions League knockout games since Di Matteo in 2011-2012. Chelsea had 2 English goal scorers in a Champions League game for the first time since they played Napoli in the year that they won the Champions League.
That one's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that one again?
That one's interesting.
The first time we've had 2 English goal scorers in a game since Napoli.
Yeah. Okay.
That one's nice. I like that. Well played, Dubois.
This just makes you understand how much bullshit astrology is. Do you know what I mean? Like they can just they can be so vague. It will something will sort of be coincidental enough in your life.
Such a thing a cancer would say.
Yeah.
Are you a cancer?
Yeah, on
Gemini,
society.
Gemini, like my mum. God.
We've only got 3 more points left, so we'll go. Antonio Conte won the. Louis is going to ridicule me for saying this. Scudetto.
Scudetto.
Yeah, in 2011-2012, the same year as Chelsea won the Europa Champions League, and he's on the verge of winning it again this season.
Forza Antonio.
In 2011-2012, the game between 2 Champions League quarter-final legs was played away, and Chelsea had scored 4 goals. Chelsea have just scored 4 away to Palace in between their 2 quarter-final legs.
Doesn't mean anything.
And finally, in April 2011-2012, an El Clasico was played. The result, 2-1 to Madrid. Real Madrid have just beaten Barcelona 2-1 in the El Clasico. We're in April.
Can you look up what the most typical score in the El Clasico is? Because I have a feeling it's 2-1.
Oh, hang on. Where were we when Lampard got sacked? We were 5th, weren't we? We 5th?
5th.
Yeah, because guess what position? Here you go, Dubois. This one for you.
No.
Guess what position we were when Thomas Tuchel took over? 5th.
But we weren't.
We were 5th, and when Di Matteo took over, we were 5th.
So see, Dubois, that's a stat. But no, you're going to talk to me about weird Crystal Palace shit.
It's the lens was there. Brandon's
I'm
not
looking
changed
at
it.
that camera.
Look at it again, Brad. Let's change it.
Do it again.
Dubois, fucking.
So, yeah, basically that is Dubois' take that we're going to win the Champions League this year. But before we diverge into that anymore, because that is just all conspiracy and no factual evidence at all.
This is my favourite bit.
We will move on.
I'm crying.
We will move on to the Werner, Abraham, Giroud debate that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier. Who is your number one choice at the moment?
Well, it depends on the game.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
That was a really broad question.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think it's. I think we kind of touched on this before, but we'll go over it again. It's a great problem to have because we've got options that suit different styles of play. Mm-hmm. We've got someone who'll score a worldie but also be able to hold it up. Sure. Probably not the best presser, but can do a job. We've got Timo Werner, who will stretch teams.
Timo Werner, I love that.
His name is Timo Burners.
He will work hard for the team and then miss a slew of chances.
North Macedonia agrees.
Yeah.
We've got, he's always been a streaky player.
Yeah.
You know, he's even in Germany, he'd go through sort of patches of just being awful and then just score a glut of goals. And
I'd like that glut to come.
We really all would, as would he. But like, it will. I've got confidence. He's not Kesman. He's
No, but he smells a bit like Torres.
No, he don't.
No.
No.
Torres was a player who was done even in his last sort of like stretch at Liverpool.
Okay.
And I think
we'll revisit this in a few months.
I think and
I hope I'm wrong.
Personally, right, I think I actually want to say something very contentious here, and I want to elaborate on it. Kevin, just Tammy Abraham's actual name. So Kevin or Tammy Abraham, yeah, it's his name. His name is Kevin. I don't want to butcher this. I feel really bad if I do. Tevin Ogheneta.
Okay, Tammy Abraham, yeah.
Yeah. Kevin.
Is he an actor or something? Why has he changed his name?
No, it's just their African name, isn't it? And then they got their Christian name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tammy Abraham he's a decent centre forward. He's obviously our top goal scorer right now, so this can be very contentious. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he is the top caliber for us. I think that he's a very young player. I think there's definitely someone in there as a centre forward. He just doesn't suit how we play. And obviously when people talk about he scores a lot of goals, he scores most of his goals against teams which, quite frankly, just aren't on the same level. You know, obviously the FA Cup he does really well, but in the league he's just very. It's just I don't know.
But you say that, but you have to look at last season under Lampard. He did very well against a number of clubs last season under Lampard. It wasn't just your relegation battle or you're just above the relegation battle. He was scoring goals consistently. How many goals did he score last season? 15 or something like that?
Yeah.
He scored a number of very good goals last season, and he was very, very, very consistent. And I know what you're saying. He's not the right caliber for Chelsea going forward, but as an option right now, it's not a bad option to have at all.
He's not a bad option to have, but I just...
What's your contentious point?
Well, that is my contentious point, because whenever I've said it, people are like, well, what
so
are you
far,
talking about?
I haven't heard anything contentious.
I think because I look at Tammy Abraham, I don't get filled with confidence. No. We've got he's a fox in the box, but we're talking about Timo Werner being hit and miss. I just feel Tammy Abraham, when he's in the box, unless it's perfect, you know, he only does it when it's perfect. He doesn't stretch himself. He doesn't, really try and become the centre forward to put his body on the line. It has to be perfect.
So on the Werner note, Werner doesn't even do that at the moment. I know you all back him, and I'm not blind. I can see the talent there is visible and clear as day, right? But it's not.
It's not clicking.
It's not clicking. So at the moment, Tammy makes the team ahead of Werner for me any day of the week, because one of them has got a propensity to score, one doesn't. A striker is there, amongst other things, to score goals, right?
They've scored the same amount of goals in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, but one's played a lot more games.
Yeah.
This is where you lose me on stats, mate. You throw these things at me, and
he's only played 3 more games, or like 3 or 6
minutes?
of them.
Tammy's played 20 games and Werner's played 29 games, and Tammy has 1 goal more than Werner this season in the Prem.
There you go.
Hang on. But what the minutes to goal
ratio? Less games, more goals.
Yeah, Timo Werner.
What I'm gonna say.
I don't need the stats. I've been watching it.
But Timo Werner's not been playing as a centre forward.
Yes, but what I'm gonna say is that
this is the debate we're having right
as
now.
Chelsea fans, we cannot say that Werner. We cannot criticise Werner for continually missing and playing poorly. but then in the same breath say that Abraham doesn't deserve a chance.
Thank you.
We can't. That's that's such a reactionary thing for our fan base to do, and that's so hypocritical for our fan base.
I'm
not saying you're doing that.
Yeah,
No, I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just talking about in general. I've seen a lot of discussions saying that Abraham is not Chelsea caliber. Okay, granted, but Werner has played countless games in a row without scoring per se, or scoring as many goals as he should have, and missing big opportunities. But
So
Abraham hasn't even had the chance.
Put it this way. Look at it this way. If you're an opposition team, yeah, which player strikes more fear into you? Which player makes you question? Right, how am I gonna deal with this?
Werner.
And it's Werner.
Yes.
So I think that's why we're all sort of backing Werner, because I mean his
positivity and energy is very clear.
And it's the fear factor as well, like you say. Yeah, he's fast, he causes trouble, he can play left and centre. Yeah, he can play in multiple positions.
He's going to cause you a headache on the day. Tammy, you kind of feel if you're a defender, it's like, right, if I bully him a bit, muscle him a bit, and don't give him a clear sight, I should
This is what I mean. I feel Tammy Abraham is a sort of player where I feel if he got to move away, because I think this leads into something else which we didn't put on the agenda, but I would like to talk about. Because there was talk, obviously, either Lukaku or Sergio Aguero coming in. So realistically,
Lukaku any day of the week.
I agree. But if one of them come in, you're going to look at Tammy Abraham. He is going to be the obvious casualty, in my opinion.
I think
maybe Giroud. Not correctly, but 34.
I think both probably.
Yeah. I'd agree.
Yeah. So it's so what that.
And I wouldn't be against that. Like if you said to me in a world where we're losing Abraham, this is hypothetical, of course, but we're going to lose Abraham and Giroud, and we're going to bring in Lukaku and Aguero.
I don't think anyone's really concerned.
Mean, I don't know about the Aguero one. I think
Aguero is
he scored 1 goal in 12 months, and that was a penalty.
He's been injured.
He's been very, very injured. Yeah,
but that's sort of what happens at players towards the end of their career?
Exactly.
Maybe take it. I mean, maybe he wouldn't be a bad third choice.
Would you pay 250 grand a week to a third choice striker?
No, I'm not saying that. But if he
when
was
you get him
bought
on a
in,
free.
Yeah, if he was bought in, he's got Premier League experience. You need him on the last 10 minutes.
Can you imagine? But that was for us
against City. Be like a Lampard situation,
all the players we've missed out on, of all the
Aguero
is the top for me. I wish we'd got him.
So me and my dad were talking about it when he was Atletico Madrid. Obviously, it was him, and then it was Radamel Falcao. But when we were looking at Aguero, he played against us in the Champions League and was a monster. Yeah. He was unbelievable, and we just let him go for Fernando Torres because Roman wanted Fernando Torres, which is fair enough, fine. But I look at Tammy Abraham, and I don't know. It's just the gut instinct with me that the numbers go against everything I'm saying, but he's just a fox in the box. I feel if he moved away, he could be like what Dominic Calvert-Lewin is for Everton to another side.
Yes.
I think if he moved on loan to Villa, which is where he played really well, he moved somewhere. He would get regular minutes and he'd become a better player.
I don't think there's anything contentious about this. I don't think the stats and your assimilation of the player should be put together. I think they're two separate things. Just because Tammy's got more goals than Werner, if anything, that's a condemnation on Werner not fucking sticking him away more, right? Tammy, I would agree with you. I don't think he's good enough.
See, I agree with that. I do agree with that. But I'm going to play a bit of a devil's advocate.
Oh, Louis loves a devil's advocate.
So, I agree that he's not Chelsea caliber, but I also agree that he should be getting more minutes at the moment. That's my opinion.
I mean,
with the team that we play and the way that we play our football, we've got Pulisic, Havertz, Mount, Werner, Hudson-Odoi,
Ziyech.
All of them who love to cut in and have a shot from the edge of the box. What we miss is a striker who lurks on that goalkeeper as the shot's being taken, or on the last defender as the shot's being taken. Because how many times do you see a shot get parried away and there's no one there for us to tap it in?
Pulisic is kind of that player.
Yeah, but
he's not the striker.
At the same time, yesterday, he was that player yesterday, but we also had Havertz's one where he flicked it over the head and it got parried out.
I'd argue that Giroud can do that role, man.
He could, but at the same time, so could Abraham. This is what I'm saying. As a younger player, he can come into that squad. He can play 50 minutes, 60 minutes of a game, and then you can bring on Werner or Giroud or Havertz.
I'm going to back up your point here. We had the same concerns about Tammy when we had the transfer ban. and he stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
And I think, if you've got to give him minutes for him but that's the one thing that this team can't give you because we've got an abundance of talent.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, we've spent 130 million on 2 world-class German players, and it's obvious that Tuchel's been brought in and been told
to get the best out of them.
Get these guys working.
Yeah.
So Tammy's going to be a casualty.
Of course, no, I agree with that. But I also think at the same time he does deserve a few more minutes than he's getting.
The reason that Tammy Abraham I don't think gets those minutes is because we're saying we can be that fox in the box, whatever. We had those foxes in the box, but do you know what else they were? They had problems to centre halves. Diego Costa, Didier Drogba, you had those guys which were just
he's not got
quite
the mean streak.
frankly arseholes when it came to those defenders, what they thought. So we don't have that. I think if you're looking at like I said, looking at a Lukaku or even like obviously Haaland was the other conversation. It's either one of those two which keeps coming up, Aguero, whatever. Aguero, end of his career, twilight. Okay, he comes in. It's great to have that, to sell shirts, and he looks good, and he might come in and score a load of goals. Who knows? I'm not convinced he will.
You were backing Thiago Silva.
Yeah, but it's a different position. I think a centre back's a very
Same
different.
Of course, but you're talking about an old player in the twilight of their career
look,
coming in for a season to make an impact maybe on someone like Tammy.
Yeah.
With our record.
Yeah, that's the other record. It's centre forwards.
Just with centre forwards, it's kind of like
centre back's very different.
I think, look, Cavani.
I don't know why we didn't go for Cavani.
But,
I can't get my head around. You rate him.
Cavani would have been exactly it.
He's always that one player that everyone's raved about to me. And don't get me wrong, I think he's a very good player. I just don't see as much of a hype as there is. I don't know.
Wow. Believe me, when France were playing Uruguay in the World Cup and he wasn't playing,
yeah. I think Suarez and Cavani. You just look at either of those.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's a very good player, but there's something about him. I just don't know.
Look,
I mean, it's all I'm saying is like all these aging strikers. I don't think you're going to get a lot from them consistently for a whole season.
It doesn't financially make
sense.
Cavani
started off well. He's kind of dipping in form.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's fine. According to you, we're getting Haaland anyway. So.
Mate,
when we win the league, if we win the Champions League and the league.
Haaland this year, I would take if there was lots of people going for.
Sorry. This year you would take.
Whoa! Let me explain. He's got 70 million. He's got a 70 million release clause next year.
Yeah, but then we're not going to get him. Our only chance of getting him this year
now
is when the world is in a financial, or the football world is in a financial pickle, and Barcelona and Real Madrid can't.
Oh, sorry, no! Stop! I need fucking Shay brought this up to me on the way to the Wolf game yesterday. I need to put this little thing to bed right now. This fucking soundbite that's circulating all over the internet about Real Madrid don't have money. Get a clue. They're owned by the fucking Spanish government, not in official name, but they've got all the money in the world if they want. Barcelona are in trouble. Real Madrid do not have a financial problem. Honestly,
are you mad? They couldn't make signings last year because they had to cut the players' wages.
Bro, trust me, Real, if they wanted to,
I didn't realise you were accounting for Real Madrid. Mate. Sorry, I forgot.
If Real,
I forgot between kickboxing and diving, you're.
I'm a busy man.
Sorry, don't hurt me.
No, I'm gonna fuel your agenda a little bit more. So
Haaland
apparently,
like that.
Haaland. So Raiola has said that he won't ever do business with Pep. So what I said obviously about PSG. What I said about PSG, I don't think that Haaland and Mbappe will play together. And there's also reports saying that they will not sell to Barcelona until they pay their Ousmane Dembele debt.
Right.
So that's 3 big clubs out of it, and really it kind of just leaves, if you're looking at it in that perspective anyway,
PSG.
It will leave
There's not really
Madrid,
murmurs about that.
Chelsea,
PSG,
United.
PSG.
No, this is what I mean. I don't think they will, because I don't think Mbappe and Haaland will play together at such an early stage in their career.
Oh, it'd be wonderful if they did.
It would be, but I don't
for PSG,
think they will.
Not for everyone else.
They've still got loads of centre forwards. PSG, I swear they've got what is it, Icardi? They've got who else? They've got
Mauro Icardi. Yeah,
They got Mauro Icardi.
We're all forgetting about Bayern Munich.
I don't think they're going to splash the can.
This is the reason.
This is what happened with Lewandowski. He was tearing it up at Dortmund, and then
but you got him on a free.
This is the thing, and this is the other reason why I'm not sure we'll do it, because Chelsea's financial system and how we're working, and
we don't go above 70 mil, really.
It's not that we don't go above 70 mil. It's the fact that it's not even the wage. It's the fact that we work on trying to balance our books. Look, we only had, I think it was an output of £40 million. People saying you spent 250 million in the summer, and I hate quoting Mo from AFTV. He's a great bloke, but this was just a soundbite which people take the piss out of. Net spend, we only spent £40 million. To get Erling Braut Haaland, we need to offload loads of players, and get good fees for them.
So at the same time, what I would remember when we spoke about this first, and I said
we've got the Champions League money that we've got.
When also, I spoke Roman about wants Haaland, by the way, can we just talk about that? Roman actually wants.
Yeah,
Haaland.
So we'll have to realistically, you're probably going to be looking at wanting to get rid of off the books Zappacosta, Drinkwater, who by the way came out yesterday and said he has unfinished business at Chelsea.
Bring him back.
So
bring him back.
Yeah, start your Twitter account, mate.
Yeah,
get that back up, Danny Drinkwater.
So wait, just talking about when we spoke about Haaland originally, and I said that the wages were going to be ridiculous, and obviously that for the agent fee and stuff like that as well. Apparently, Raiola has demanded that he gets 20 million from the transfer.
Yep,
fine.
Haaland's father gets 20 million.
Cool.
And Haaland gets 30 million a year.
A year? Oh, okay.
The fuck?
Sorry, so Raiola gets 20 million a year?
Raiola gets 20 million a year. Haaland's father gets 20 million a year, and Haaland gets 30 million a year.
So that's £2.5 million a month that they go.
Yep, he wants to make Haaland the first £1 million a week player. He also, so if you're thinking that he's going to cost, say, roughly, let's just say he's going to go for like 150 mil.
I don't think anyone is going to pay that.
You've got to think 150 mil, then all of those fees on top, 70 mil extra a year. So that whole fee for just 1 year would be 220 mil for Haaland.
He's a great player. He's not worth it. He's not worth that.
No player is worth that money.
No one's worth 220 million.
And that's what I mean by I don't think that a lot of the teams will go in for him because of that reason. His wages are ridiculous.
I read
Especially
differently. I didn't see
like,
20 million a year for Haaland. I did for Alfie Inga Haaland.
I thought it was a one-off fee.
Yeah, so I thought it was 20% of the transfer fee. That's what I was reading for each of them. So it'd be 40% that would go to agents' fees. Obviously, Haaland's dad, Alfie Inga Haaland, for those of you who don't know, and Mino Raiola. So if we're looking at 150 million, I need to do the maths here. You're looking at 30 million, 60 million that goes towards them. So you're looking at 90 million for an actual fee for the player. His current valuation on transfer market is 99 million. So realistically, I don't think all these numbers that are going up around it just doesn't make sense. So I think there's something here which isn't going to work. Chelsea have also said that they don't like dealing with Mino Raiola, full stop.
Who does?
I think Chelsea, they didn't put a ban per se, but they've put like a red flag next to Mino Raiola. Whereas other clubs are like, oh, it's he's difficult, but we'll deal with him. Chelsea are literally like, if we can avoid dealing with Raiola, we'll avoid it.
It's the transfer saga of the summer, and it's a soap opera because like every team and every potential like club that he could go to has got some shit going on. Other than
Chelsea.
Yeah,
but like I said, Chelsea like to balance the books.
That's not an issue though. Where the other things we've raised doesn't compare.
It's not an issue, but it means that we have so much more work to do in comparison to everybody else.
Listen, I just don't want to make sure the roles aren't getting reversed here. I've been saying for the last few weeks, there's no fucking hope by getting Haaland. I'm still on that bandwagon, but yeah. I was just saying it was interesting the information that came to light about Raiola saying he'll never work with Guardiola again. Yeah. That part I found interesting. That doesn't mean I think we're getting him.
No, of course. All right, let's move on. We're going to go on to the fight for the top four. So our penultimate point of the day. Fight for the top four. It's getting close. Very, very, very close.
West Ham.
Yep. Right. So obviously last week results kind of went our way, even though we lost 5-2. Results kind of went our way at the same time. Apart from West Ham, who won on the Sunday and were 1 point above us. It's a very, very, very substantial day for us today. Obviously, we'll know the results, and everyone will know the results by the time this comes out tomorrow. But West Ham, Tottenham, who else are playing each other? West Ham, Tottenham, Spurs, and United.
Man U, Tottenham, Leicester, West Ham.
Also, for the bottom of the table, this is very, very interesting. Newcastle have beaten Burnley 2-1.
Wow.
Oh wow, it was
So-
1-0 when we checked last.
Yeah, so that makes it very tasty down
How
the bottom.
far are we off number 2?
We
Points-wise?
6 points.
I tell you what,
But United have got a game in hand, which is today. Well, not today,
United
but
have got
you know what I mean.
2 games in hand
Two-
over
is it two?
City, and my flatmate or ex-flatmate, he's just leaving now.
What bloke, by the
Massive United fan, believes that they can. Because I mean, if you look at it,
Well, they can win the league.
win the
Because the guy that I did the song with, he's a United fan, and he said exactly the same.
I mean,
Yeah.
look.
Are these guys both friends with CFCDubois?
Also, I'd really love a massage off of Margot Robbie, but it's very unlikely to
Well, no,
happen.
if you think about
Just
it,
watch the Wolf of Wall Street.
the season that City won, that Aguero season where United threw away, they threw away an 8-point game, 8-point lead in 4 games.
Where is this going?
That City could do the same.
Yeah,
Because there's
I
only, what is
In
it, 11 points?
2012.
Was it 2012? Was it 2012?
It was.
Oh my God.
That's why I said it.
Oh, so like United 60 points. If they win both their games in hand, 66 points.
And
8
City are on
points.
what?
74.
Okay.
So they'll be
there'll
8 points
off
behind
of-
with 6 games in hand. With 6 games to
Six
go.
games in hand,
Six
blimey.
games, 6 games to go. So
Yeah, it could be an interesting final. But
I-
then again,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what United or City's fixtures are like coming up.
City are playing on 4 fronts, aren't
So
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
me just get these all
That's
up for
what
us
I'm
then.
saying.
So
I'm not on this board
so
of them
this is
winning the
let's
quadruple.
just go through our fixtures and then we look
Yeah,
at everyone else.
yeah.
We've got. We've
We've got a very tough end to the season.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
oh yeah, exactly. Am I including cup fixtures or am I including?
Yeah, go for the
yeah,
go
go
full
for it.
lot. Go for
So
full lot.
Porto in the Champions League,
they? Which we're winning.
which means that there'll be even more games, and who will either get either Real Madrid or Liverpool, looking
Real.
likely to be Real. We then got City in the FA Cup, Brighton in the league. We then have West
Home
Ham.
or away? Home or away?
Brighton at home,
Home.
sorry.
West Ham away.
West Ham away on the 24th of April. Fulham at home on the 1st of May. We then have Man City away on the 8th of May. Arsenal at home on the 12th of May.
Not
Leicester at home on the 12th
But
or the
these are all the
15th,
games you want
and
to be
Villa
playing because
on
it's-
the-
that's a 6-point game against Leicester. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they notoriously bottle it.
But then obviously we've got West Ham before that as well, a couple of games before that. Then we're finishing with Villa as well, who again have got a couple
Bogey
of
team,
games,
motherfuckers.
and they've got a couple of games in hand on their opponents as well.
It's this is the thing. I think that West Brom
fucking
if-
Villa
if-
lot,
I think
man. They
this-
always trouble us.
Yep.
that West Brom game, if we'd won that, I think we'd be sat here with our feet up. Personally, I think I'd be there going.
I don't think so. I
No,
think
can I tell
I'd be
you
a bit
the
more
only
comfortable.
game on that, based on how other teams are performing, which takes City out of the equation, obviously, because that's hard no matter which way you slice the cake. But West Ham, that's the big one for me.
Yep.
West Ham, West. I think if we beat West Ham,
If we beat West Ham, I think that consolidates at least top 4.
Listen, if West
I
Ham,
actually think
look,
top
Liverpool,
you know.
Liverpool,
3 is on. Top 3 is on.
yeah, Liverpool are creeping up on us as well. We got to remember that they're only 2 points
Liverpool-
behind us.
I mean, if Tottenham hadn't lost, drawn to Newcastle
Yeah,
last week,
yeah, they would have
they'd been
yeah.
in the hunt as well.
well, this is it. I mean, let's now
I mean,
look.
they still are.
Okay,
it's,
okay.
It's if we have one dodgy game, we're kind of out the top 4.
Leicester's fixtures, as we've already stated, the game kicks off in 5 minutes. Actually, as we shoot this, they've got West Ham today. They've then got Southampton in the cup. They've then got West Brom, Palace. Wow. Southampton again, Newcastle. They then got Man United and us and Tottenham as their last 3 games. So their running ain't easy either. But they've, in comparison
But there
to
is
what
no
we did,
easy run.
No. There's no easy run, but there's easier. I think you look at what we. I think our stint. which
Brighton
would
at
have-
home on paper should be an easy game. They've been known to trouble us.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, you look at the games which we're playing, and realistically, West Brom, Brighton, Fulham. These were the
Villa.
games. Villa. No, maybe not so much Villa after this year. I think Villa is
Bogey
still a very good side.
motherfuckers.
I think you look at these sides and you go, do you know what? Those are the games which we needed to win to have a sense of comfortability going into this final stint.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Thomas Tuchel is going to be looking at that going, I wouldn't be confident at all. I mean, there's confidence. When I say wouldn't be
You are
confident,
thinking like an Englishman or not like a German, yeah? You are looking at the games and going, so we are going to get the points on all the fronts and win the games and get to the top 4.
we have to. We can afford to lose one. Other than that, we have to win pretty much every single game.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think we're all, as much as we say, we're conscious of your Liverpools, your Spurses, your Leicesters, we're all not really sleeping on them, but we're all forgetting if West Ham beat Leicester today, they are 1 point behind third and 5 points behind second.
When you put it like that,
that is ridiculous. If Leicester lose another one of their games and West Ham continue their really good run that they're on, mate, they could even finish second if United slip up. Do you know what I mean? They are one of the massive triumphs this season, honestly.
You can apply that to us too.
Yeah, of course. But I'm talking about the fact that
West Ham were tipped to go down.
Exactly. They're not a team you'd expect to be doing this. Again, like a Leicester winning the league. They're not a team that you'd expect to be
fighting.
This
season's Wolves, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're this season's Wolves. I mean, not going to lie. You look at them, right? I'm just going to look at the beginning of fixtures. Here we go. September 2020. They lost their first...
Again, Chelsea podcast, not West Ham
No, but this is relevant. They lost their first game, 2-0 to Newcastle with tips to go down. This side are a very... I don't get it. They're ridiculously...
Jesse Lingard, man.
Just Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard,
Souček, Declan Rice.
But this is it. I think...
That Lingard factor, United now be like, maybe we'll have him back.
And they've got a very good anchor in the middle too, like I just said. Like Souček and Rice combination, that partnership is unbelievably solid. Very good.
Ignoring my amazing pun. We're just leaving that.
Declan Busquets.
No. Basmati Busquets. Declan Rice.
Oh my God.
Basmati, but no.
But they complement each other very, very well.
Yeah. Well, this is. I think. Look, it's really, really interesting down there. I don't think. Personally, I think Tottenham. I just don't think have got it. They've left
fallen
it
off. They have left it too late. But I'll tell you what, they were top of the league in December, weren't they?
Yeah. I mean, actually, you know what? Actually, you say that.
Mad.
You say that they win both their games in hand. Technically, they go up to 55 points. They go fourth.
You're also forgetting Everton are 2 games behind the rest of us.
Three
if they win their 2 of their games, they will be
fifth.
They're the real success story for me this season, Everton.
Carlo's done a good job.
The job
but
Ancelotti
I will also
has done,
reinforce Mooch's point that I don't think we should be having this conversation because we're just going to win the Champions League anyway.
Like in 2012.
Exactly.
If we finish 6th this season, we also finished 6th in 2012. So
listen. If we win the Champions League this season, it will be the biggest conspiracy theory, and there'll be a massive investigation into match fixing and all that sort of shit because there's so many coincidences.
Blame
that have
Dubois.
Yeah. He's paid off UEFA. He's paid him off.
For me. We have to win every single game.
That's kind of the mentality you want whenever you're playing, isn't it?
No, I know that, but it's a case
I'm not throwing you under the bus, but legit, it's like we have to win every game. Like, yeah, sure.
Well, no, but it's a case of I'm not talking from a mentality perspective. I'm talking from a purely mathematical perspective.
Again, same fucking thing, Louis. It's like if you want to do well in football, you need to win your games.
I know. Shut up. But look, I think. Look. Realistically, we're the ones with less of a cushion than everybody else, just purely because our last 5-6 games are against people that are all around us,
but are all beatable.
Every
single team in this league is beatable. Every single
Leeds
team
proved that shit yesterday.
Exactly.
Mate, Leeds had 29% of the ball and beat 2-1.
But they had Stuart Dallas.
And Spurs beat City about a month ago as well, and Spurs are 7th, 8th. Do you know what I mean? It's all winnable.
Do you know what minute Stuart Dallas scored in?
91.
He scored, the last minute.
Oh my God.
I hate you.
Mooch, can I have a slot at the comedy club, please?
No.
Okay,
well, so basically, what I'm going to do before we go on to our last point, we're going to go around the room and we're going to ask what your first, second, third, and fourth is going to be from now to the end of the season. And then at the end of the season, we'll come and revisit it and see who got the closest. We'll start with Nico. First, second, third, fourth in order.
Chelsea win the league.
City.
Mm-hmm.
United.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea.
Ooh.
West Ham.
Mooch?
No, Everton.
Everton? Really?
City, United, Leicester, Chelsea.
Louis?
City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, I'm going to say. Just going to sneak it.
All right, I'll go City, Leicester, United, Chelsea.
Really?
Are you just saying that to annoy Manchester United fans?
No, I really do think that they're going to slip off. They've got Europa League to contend with. It's not an easy league by any means. I know we walked it.
They've got an easy run in.
Come on,
They have
Carlo
got an
Ancelotti.
easier run in, but there's something about United this season. They haven't been on it, and they've been up and down and back and forth. I know they're second now, but they started very slowly.
Do you remember that Brighton game where the whistle got blown?
Oh, mate.
The whistle got blown,
and then they got a penalty.
They got a penalty, and they
Yeah.
started the game again.
Yeah,
I was livid.
Yep.
I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, there's something you see in like a Saudi Arabian league or something, isn't it? Like
Absolutely
it was
insane.
ridiculous.
They just
but
wanted someone. He just had Bruno Fernandes to score in his Aka. That's all
What's
he
the
did.
final point? Because I feel this is a
we'll
long
move
pod.
on to the final point, which is our upcoming fixtures against Porto and City. We'll touch them.
I'm
touch
interested
on them
to see.
briefly.
I mean, Porto. I'm interested to see how we're going to line up on both, but how we're going to. I think Porto is a bit more relaxed. You know, I think we've got a bit more breathing space there, but
That's the game for rotation if we're going to take City in mind.
But
That's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
I'd rotate for the Porto game because we've got.
I wouldn't over rotate, but I'd play.
we'll put Kepa in.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Kepa in.
No.
I'd put Willy Caballero in personally.
Yeah, I would put him in before Kepa
Just so you
anyway.
can say,
Yes.
we've got a
But-
big Willy in
yeah.
the goal.
How are we going to line up against City?
Counter-attack. Has to be. He has to put Werner on there.
It's
has
gonna be
to.
interesting
You
'cause it's the
cannot
first time he's played
out-possession
them.
City.
No,
you
but
can't do it.
Well, the thing is, I've noticed
Leeds did.
Leeds
No,
did
they didn't
it.
out-possession.
Out-possession,
no.
Leeds.
That's my point. You're not going to beat them on possession. So forget that. And that's what a lot of Tuchel's game revolves around, right? That's what he did against Porto. It's like, we're just going to dominate you. We're going to make you run. You're going to have to try and counter-attack us. That was his game, right?
Chelsea aren't
that
a
will not
counter-attacking
be.
team anymore, though. I don't.
Don't agree with that.
We have elements of it, but I don't think that we.
You put players like Werner, Pulisic,
Hudson-Odoi, Mount.
Hudson-Odoi, Mount, maybe Ziyech in there just to get a lethal little ball into the
Apparently,
box.
Havertz is one of the fastest we have as well.
I didn't ever see him as fast, but fair
Yeah,
play. But you know,
apparently he's one of the fastest.
Pulisic and Werner
know
would be
what?
the names on
Do you
there
know
for
what?
me. I'd put Jorginho, I would put Kovacic and Kante all in the middle. I would just fucking shut up shop and hit them on the break.
That's what's reassuring about Tuchel
break them.
is that against Porto last week, it was reassuring to see that he did do those defensive substitutions. He's a very attacking manager, and you can see that and sense that from his substitutions and from the way he lines up.
Yeah,
But it was nice to see that he managed to do that against
this is
Porto
it.
and shut
He
shop.
needs to go shut up shop and hit on the
but this
break.
is the
That's the
problem.
only way I can see someone beating City.
Yeah. I can see that.
I don't think. I just look at the way we played, and when we've tried to do that over the past few years, it's not just Tuchel's done it. Lampard tried it. Obviously, Sarri tried it as well. Where there was times where we tried to just be a
Different
bit more
caliber of
contentious.
manager.
No, but even still, I think when we play City, it seems to, I don't know what it is, but over the past year, when we take the game to them.
No, they
and
don't
actually
like
take
it.
They hate it.
They hate it.
because we can do that. So
That's true.
I personally like
We'll
obviously.
think of the League Cup final, I guess.
I'm thinking of the League Cup final. I'm thinking, like, even though we lost to them, I'm thinking about Lampard's last season when we played them at the Etihad.
Yeah.
You know, look, there's examples when we played them at Argath as well, and we beat them. So Liverpool won the league. We took the game to them.
Yeah.
So I look at it and I go, look, as much as Manchester United and Leeds, for example, did it with less possession. We've got the Man United game stats in front of me here. They played 34% of the ball, not as many shots. They are those sort of teams. Leeds are used to being the underdogs this season.
Sounds
so they
to me
can do
like
it.
you start Giroud then.
I'd start Giroud against City, but I think you go and look at it and they go, right, we took the game. We when we take the game to City, it's a different thing. Manchester United and Leeds. Man United have played all season to not concede goals, and they
So boring, isn't it?
it's rubbish, but it's worked for them, and that's how they've played. Leeds haven't tried to outplay everyone all the time, but there's been examples where they have done it, or it's been very, very close. Much like Liverpool, us when we were very fortunate to even get a result against them a few weeks ago. So I look at that game and I go, do you know what? Maybe I'd start Giroud. Maybe I'd start Havertz. I'm looking at it going, do you know, I'd rather be able to have us linking the ball up and playing football. I'd rather take the...
Giroud, Ziyech and Pulisic, I would be. If we were doing the type of game you're describing, which is, fuck it, take the game to them, let's match them, then Ziyech, Pulisic, and Ziyech, Pulisic, and Giroud would be my front three. Mm-hmm. If we're doing the counter-attacking thing, based on what you've told me about Havertz, I would say Havertz, Werner, and Pulisic, just speed. Those would be the two tactics.
Yeah, speed against City ain't going to work.
It's nice to see that we've started to come into a little bit of goal
Werner's level
scoring
of
form.
speed would.
against João Cancelo, who's also one of the fastest players in the league.
You can have him.
It's nice to see that we've come into a little bit of goal scoring form in the past week as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In the fact that we scored 2 against Porto. I know we lost against West Brom, but we scored 2 there. Scored 4 yesterday. So we've scored 8 goals in the past 3 games that we've played. In these next 2 games, Porto and City, we're going to need to take all the chances we get.
Yeah. Well, who's going to be the pivot against City?
Kante, probably. I'd say Kante.
Kante and Cover, probably.
You think Kante and Cover?
I think Jorginho's played quite a few games on the bounce. Again, he took him off against Palace yesterday quite late on, probably to rest him for Tuesday, for the last 10, 15 minutes to probably rest him for Tuesday. I don't think he'll play... Yeah, I think he's already said how much he loves Kante, and the other 2 as well, to be fair. But he said how much he loves Kante, and Kante looks like a different player again. He looks revitalised under Tuchel. Yep. So I think that it will be a Cover Kante on Saturday. And I think it'll be Jorginho Cover on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think playing Jorginho against that City midfield is dangerous. Just because, not because of his lack of ability, but because of his lack of pace.
Yeah.
You've got to think it's going to be more of an open game on Tuesday against Porto. It's going to give more of a chance of Jorginho to ping those balls over the top like he likes to do. He likes to win the ball deep and play it forward and then jog along behind and, make sure that we're reassured at the back. Cover pushes forward a little bit more. It gives Jorginho an option to do that more on Tuesday than it will against City on Saturday. Whether we go and try and take the game to them or whether we sit and absorb pressure, that suits Kante so much more because it's more of a compact, compressed game.
Well, you've been very quiet, Mooch. You've been very pensive.
No, I mean, I think it's. I agree with that. I agree with all that's been said. I think I'm just excited about the next 2 weeks of football.
It is going to be good. It is going to be good.
And we can watch them all in Pub Gardens.
Yeah.
Oh! Can we watch them here?
Yeah. Do you want to come down on Tuesday?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm working, unfortunately.
Oh,
okay.
I'll still be here.
I'll be down Tuesday night.
I'm down
sure.
for that.
Yeah,
Get a few of the boys, sort it out.
Let's watch
in
the
here,
game.
yeah?
Yeah, well, out there.
Out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We can maybe even do an instant reaction pod.
Yeah, roll on in. I've got some pods in on Tuesday, so we will have to just work out that.
Could you bring a camera down? I don't mind.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about the timing.
Such a content whore.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about
Listen.
watching the game.
No. We'll watch the game and then
Forget the fact that we can watch a game live all together. How can I get this on camera?
No. I don't operate like that. I'm not. Listen. There's certain people within the industry that
Mate, content is to you what food is to Jabba the Hutt.
Is there another reason you use Jabba the Hutt then? I'm offended.
But anyway, guys,
2021.
I think that wraps us up for today.
Hi, Mooch. Mooch is vlogging as well. See, you're calling me a content whore. He's got his camera going.
So I just thought I'd whip it out. Use this fucking thing. Yeah, Brandon, do you want to see us out?
Yes,
where can everyone find us?
Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. It's been the 4 of us as usual, going through quite a few points and taking quite a few diversions. But if you would like to contact us, Louis, what is the social media platform, network, apps, stuff?
Well,
that was the worst sentence.
That was awful, wasn't it? That was a really bad sentence.
Try that one again.
I've taught Brandon so much about outroing and doing content and doing it right. And
Listen, it got sprung on me. Mooch said see us out.
You need to think on your feet, mate.
I got scared.
Come on.
I got scared.
Right, okay.
It's been a while.
Well, listen, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
got forgiven yesterday because I was nearly crying.
Yeah. He got forgiven because he was nearly crying. It was a really emotional moment. I did nearly cry as well. So for that, obviously, go check out Imperial Wolf. Video's going to be out every single Sunday. It's been fantastic. Great stuff. On top of that as well, guys, please do make sure... Shut up, man.
Video bomb.
Right.
You got to think on your feet, Louis.
I'm thinking on my feet. Listen, guys. Listen, for everything to do with the Chelsea Echo, make sure you check out our Twitter, our Instagram, the Chelsea Echo _ on Instagram, at the Chelsea Echo on Twitter. Make sure you check out our website as well, being fully revamped. A great writing team over there for the chelseaecho.com. And obviously, make sure you check out all of our socials. Nico and the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast. Brandon is Brandon Morgan Zero and Brandon the NG. Mooch obviously has the Vauxhall Comedy Club, and he's got podcasts for that as well, as many other things. So check myself out on the Louis Benevento channel. But that has been it today. Make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss a single video or a podcast on the Chelsea Echo. And on top of that as well, if you're watching it or listening to it on Spotify, iTunes, or any of the other podcasting platforms, Apple, give us a review, please. 5 stars would really help us. But other than that as well, make sure you just follow us on there as well. But that has been it, your Chelsea Echo podcast for this week. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you later. Ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye.
Be a pro, yeah? Be a pro!